Exes, parents, and children. Oh my. Welcome to the New Spirit Radio Show by the Society of Novus Spiritus, founded by world renowned spiritual teacher Sylvia Browne. I think I'm up to date today. It should be August 2nd of 2023. Coming to you live from California, both NorCal and SoCal, are your hosts, Reverend Tom Bigley and Reverend Catherine Taylor, playing audio segments we call Messages from Spirit. Why? Answering the ultimate question, why are we here and what is our purpose?
These segments are recorded trance sessions from Francine, Sylvia's spirit guide. So for new people, Sylvia was a full trance medium, which means Sylvia contracted to let her and Francine's essences exchange places in Sylvia's body. And we think of our bodies being similar to a car. One driver gets out and another driver gets in. This allowed Francine to share spiritual knowledge with us directly from the other side.
On occasion, another master teacher and healer, a guide named Rahim, would exchange with Sylvia and present us with spiritual information as well. Francine and Rahim shared directly from sources like the Akashic Records, Mother and Father God, our spirit guides, Christ, and many others.
And meanwhile, during trance, Sylvia would sit on a nice bench in a rose garden on the other side.
And here are our hosts, Reverend Catherine Taylor and Reverend Tom Bigley.
Hello, how's it
How do you do?
going?
It's now I keep wanting to do that, but that's wrong. It's going that way. There we
High
go.
five, wonderful.
Yes. Glad you're all here listening, whether it's live or on demand. Um, Quick agenda for those of you that are new. I'm gonna talk through real quick what we'd like to share with everybody. So first, we're going to talk a little bit about announcements, and then we love to share how did you use Novus Spiritus philosophy over the last week. And for those of you that have heard this before, now's a fun time to start writing in the comments how you use Novus philosophy, and we'll get to sharing those. Then we get into take a moment of silence for special prayers. We will get into the trance segments, and yes, sit on the edge of your seat because I was editing last night. Yeah, I think it was last night, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's put them on the edge of their seat for this one. Then we go to meditation. I'll talk about some closing notes. We get to the novena. That's a special prayer ceremony that everybody's welcome to participate in, and I'll describe more about that later. I suggest about appreciation, something to think about for the week for yourself, and we conclude with a prayer by Sylvia.
Awesome.
From from that, we like to light a candle, and if you are in a appropriate place for lighting candles, by all means, participate in lighting a candle. That what that's doing is telling it's like putting out energy to the universe to say we're here. We either have a concern or we're just wanting to make sure that we're connecting to the universe or to guides and angels and so on. It's just kind of an indicator. Let's see, Ken Oh, some quick announcements. Let's see. Yes, please do share, promote, like, subscribe, click on the bell, or donate as best you can, which, depending on which format you're watching us on, that always helps us get out and help others learn about the philosophy and this information. Of course, donating, you can donate directly to the website. In the near future here, you'll also be able to contribute by subscribing to some of the archive information, which is going to expand beyond just the trances. So there's going to be a lot of fun stuff that you'll I think you'll want to get involved with or see. Let's
Cool.
see. I mentioned last week a listener, and I think she's a study group member. She's she's wanting to give out her late husband's Yamaha baby grand piano to a passionate instrument lover. So let us know if you're interested or have someone know someone who'd like like the instrument. It happens to be, to my understanding, it's in Little Rock, Arkansas. So uh, you'll have to arrange transportation from there to wherever you are, go from there. Let's see. I have a note, and I can't remember if I mentioned this last week. New Spirit Radio anniversary. Oh, that's why, because we haven't had it yet. That's why. It says New Spirit Radio anniversary is August 7th. So that's like next week, I think. Yep, next week. But it's not on Tuesday. There you go. Uh, but that's always a fun. Hey, that's how long we've been doing this, since 2013. And I also marked on our calendar to remind me when the first we started doing videos, doing this on YouTube and Facebook. Fun notes. Again, August 9th, no show. So that's next week, huh? Is no show. Let's see, what else? I don't have any other connotes at this time.
All right. Well,
Special prayers. Oh, how did you use Novus philosophy? Man, I'm not reading my notes here. How did you use Novus philosophy? So, do we want to read the comments, or do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? Or
you know what? We've never started with comments before,
I know.
and I'm starting to see some comments.
All
So
right.
why don't we start with some comments? Then I'll go first, and you'll go first. Then we'll go to if other people have more comments to share. So
All right.
yeah. So everyone listening, if you've already had some comments, I am so super excited to read your comments. So let's see here. Naomi shares, I wrote a petition to Mother and Father God in the Universe by candlelight. I tore up the paper, put it in the garden, watered it, and thanked God, as seems to work every time. Fantastic.
Nice.
Yes.
Look forward to hearing what.
Yeah.
Not that you have to read the, but see what the outcome is. Hear about the outcome.
Mm-hmm. Aaron says, "I wish I could with regarding the piano. I love piano. I haven't played in a while. I should sit down. I'm glad that we're having this discussion." Cheryl says, "Talked to Chris yesterday. It felt like I was talking to my big brother and answers. I got the
Nice.
answers that I needed. Thanks, Chris. Oh, that's fantastic." Gibson says, "I tried to add my email to Patreon, but it didn't work. Anyone have suggestions?" Gibson, if you send me a message directly, I can try to help you out with that. Right now, the Patreon is still under the wait list because there's a lot of information that we're adding to the that we're adding to the hosting site. It's in progress. I swear progress is being made on it. Just had a
I swear
conversation
too.
with Tom
Well,
a couple times. Recently. So
it's a family show, but we do. But yes, I've been there, so I know things are going on. So I can collaborate. No, cooperate. Things are going on, and yeah, you are jumping through hoops to get stuff organized with that, and we will make it available.
years and years of information. Anyway, exciting stuff. But yeah, Gibson, or if anyone is struggling with the Patreon waitlist sign up, just send me a message and I'll see if I can help get that sorted up. So basically, the only thing that people are able to do right now is to go put in their email, and they will be added to a wait list. And once everything is live, you'll get a notification from Patreon, as well as from us, that that everything is set up and ready for people to go look at what how we end up structuring how everything ends up being structured. What we can do. Right. And again, it's not meant to be like an awful paywall or anything like that. It's just if if there's if someone can pay $5 for getting for getting something, then that is money that we can use to offer more cool stuff to everyone around. We just had a lot of new ministers get ordained, for instance, and we want to have a push for offering classes. So that all of that is going to go towards more things to be offered, more opportunities for togetherness, for community, and yeah, it'll just be nice. It's not meant to be an awful paywall. It's just
Everybody help contribute. Yeah, there's going to be
Yeah.
something for everybody.
yeah, something for everybody. Okay. Awesome. Gibson says, okay, we'll do. Check your email. Roger that. Elizabeth, hello, Elizabeth. She shares, I kept getting feathers. I keep getting feathers wherever I go. It reminded me.
Fun. How fun.
Reminded me, Father, Grandmother God is with me. One I see in the middle of the mall. The one I seen in the middle of the wall, one stuck to the trunk of my car, a baby feather was in my face. Oh, sounds like you've got angels all over the place.
Well, the fun thing is what comes to mind when you think of feathers? How are they? It sounds like there's something significant for you, and that's. I hope you've recognized it. We're curious. What I'm curious. What the feathers? Why are feathers significant to you? That's kind of like for me. It's like if I'm not paying attention, I ask for to turn up the volume, and that's one way to do it. It may be 3 or 4 feathers, but when you get 10 feathers, that's like turning up the volume to say, "Hey, pay attention." But then for me, the next step is, what do feathers mean to me? What is that significance? Maybe it's just, hey, recognition, but it's a fun curiosity. What are the feathers signifying to you?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And as I get through more comments, and if I see yours, Elizabeth, I'll read it later. Jorge says, I will write a letter to Asna today, to Mother God. Then I'll burn it so that the smoke can reach God. It's a lovely, lovely ritual. That burning to me, whenever I go through it, is a process of me saying I am releasing this energy so that God can take care of it. It's like it just makes it feel more concrete. Even it's really, really nice feeling. Francis says, hello from Michigan. Hi. It's very nice that you're here. Good to see you. And all right. So that's all of our comments so far. And we will get back to them after
Your turn.
After you and I have a conversation. Okay. I was just on an absolute tear. All I could think about was Novus things over this past week, and it was a really, really nice feeling. But I will share one thing. Oh, I guess I'll share 2 things. So it's a reminder. It is the first. It's the first episode of the month. So
all right.
It's our monthly reminder from Rahim for that recommended cleansing thing. The recipe is in a glass of water, just as a reminder, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon cream of tartar, and suggestion, drink it fast because it does not taste great. Okay, and the reason for that is it was from a discussion on that Rahim was giving on the health effects of radiation and how to combat it, because there was so much radiation, and that was a concern at the time of that trance. And he said that once a month you should do this one thing. It'll help just clear out your whole body, and that's the recommendation. But we are not doctors, so anyway, that's something that I use once a month. All right, But I had a wonderful, wonderful meditation, actually, speaking of angels and feathers. was looking through the information from about all of the angels, and I did a meditation with the powers angels, where
Mm.
powers angels are angels that are specifically dedicated to healing energy, and they can be very, very tall, very, very, very tall. And the description that we got is that their wings end up being almost electrified when they're performing healing. And one of the things that they the do the best at is healing anything that is up with the mind. So if the mind is having any difficulties, be it with anxiety, autism was mentioned in that trance, um, uh, attention, just anything having to do with the mind, the powers are very, very good for. So I decided to do a meditation with them, and I was buzzing so intensely. My body was so in, intensely buzzing as I was going through this meditation. It was
Mm.
incredible energy. It was so intense that my cat Java, the one who's antisocial, he ran in from the other room, and he came and laid right on top of
Wow.
my arm, and
Wow.
he put his head right on my hand, and he was just like this, purring like right in my hand, and my hand was very, very very, very warm and also buzzing, and I was just like, auntie, we be feeling the spirit together, let's do it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
really, really cool. It's really, really cool. And then when he had enough, then he trotted off. I was like, bye, buddy. So yeah, that was something that I used. Powers Angel.
Nice. Nice. Let's see. Mine, um, I recently been thinking about very similar to the angels helping with mental. Um, uh, I also incorporated. So I did ask for that to help with my the anxiety and um, the. I'm not sure the right way to say it, but it's you don't, for lack of a better term, like the child emotional trauma of that's causing the anxiety, and I envisioned the tip of a wing, tapping me, or actually,
Oh,
it's supposed to be the the scepter with the
oh,
green on the end of it,
yeah.
tapping me on the head to say, help me with that. And in addition, I've been thinking about asking that I incorporate my tone so that I'm resonating to my tone. I don't recall exactly what my tone is, but I'm just asking for it so that I get uh,
That's smart.
better, faster healing or advancement, or with the issues I'm dealing with personally. And in what's interesting is I'm getting like network connections that are like popping up. So it's like a fun, like, oh, this is different. Oh, I didn't get this before. And I've had a phone call today of somebody wants me to help with help a local nonprofit promote, because they want to promote going all electric in houses, and they wanted someone who was familiar with all of the green efficiency and solar and going, the having all the equipment in the house do electric, be powered by electricity. So I'm very familiar with the technology, but also I'm a realtor, so they wanted that whole package kind of thing. So that I'm working on talking with an organization, and I've had other people also ask, and I got my hands involved with some fun things for audio and so on. So it's been kind of a fun. Hey, this is opened up. This is an opportunity. So
Very cool. Very, very cool. Exciting to see where the doors will
yeah,
lead.
yeah.
Mhm. Um,
Any last minute comments, or do we?
yeah.
move forward.
Let's see here. Miss LJ says, I so forgot. I assume that it's about everyone's favorite drink. Says, Lord, stand by me as I try to drink this beautiful drink. Father God, help. Funny. Oh, man.
So
Elizabeth
holding your
said,
nose doesn't help?
I don't know. I don't know if anything is
It's
supposed to
just
help.
a silly old
But yes.
method of, trying to drink something down that you don't like as you hold your nose so you don't smell it, but there's no smell in there. I think it's just all going to be all flavor. So anyway.
Uh, Mercy. Yeah. Anyway. Elizabeth shares, I keep getting that movie with feathers. I don't I don't know what movie that is, but if you have more to share, yeah. Also, Aaron asks, "What is Patreon?" Patreon is going to be is a website meant for helping organizations make a little bit of money off of the content that they are creating. So that's what we want to use for the archives with all of the radio shows that we've ever done over the past 7 years.
Try again.
How many?
2013.
Oh my.
Yeah.
10 years?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so that's where we're going to move the entire archives is through Patreon, and so it would be it allows for creating different tiers of like how much somebody wants to contribute, or based on like what it is that you want to get in return. So maybe one day we might have some merchandise that you can order for Christmas. I don't know. Maybe we can have maybe somebody wants to have access to the entire archives, and maybe that's something that is, I don't know, $15 for a month. I don't know. Maybe they only want to have something for the past 2 years, and maybe that's like $5. I don't.
We're still we're still organizing, but as you were saying, it's a web portal website that you can log in. It's happens to be related to Novus Spiritus, or we're creating a site for Novus Spiritus, so you can have access to various things, and then that also helps people to contribute on a subscription. Usually it's subscription based. Many YouTubers and other people like to use Patreon's very popular website for collaborating or working together with YouTube, and creating a portal space for various, well, just as you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aaron, during when we start the trance tonight, I will put a link in the different chats of where you can go to get the wait list for the Patreon, so that you can put your email on it and get notified. Okay. That is a lot of the comments. I want to say there's maybe one more. Naomi says, I prayed for peace, kindness, understanding from one another, get along, and that kind of thing. And I'm doing the on the hour prayers too. Nice. Nice. All right. Thank you everybody so much for your comments, and we look forward to having discussion as we go along today.
Cool. Let's see. Special prayers. So let's take a moment. We're gonna do a moment of silence. So
I can put it on Discord.
We're asking, yes, that everybody get on Discord and Patreon. We're asking for energy to go out and help those that have expressed a need, or if it's going to be something in the future, before we meet again, that we're going to put that energy out and say, we're asking Mother God, our guides, archangels, archetypes, and whoever can be of help for the given situation, and again, also visualize what you think that would be the best outcome, but we also want to ask for the greater good. for a particular event. So let's take a moment and we're going to ask for that. All those entities to get out and help in their best capacity. Amen.
Amen.
And of course, be the prayer. If you see a need, fill it. If you've got a prayer you'd like to, a prayer request you'd like to post privately, you can always go to the website and post it there in the prayer chain. Let's see. Really? Oh, okay. I'm like scrolling through notes here, and I'm like, I don't remember that. But if you are streaming challenged and you'd like to listen live on our conference line, we're happy to share that. There's probably people, because I haven't looked recently, but there's people on that do get on and listen to when we are live on the conference call. Hi, everybody who's called in. Now, you can do that too. That number is 888-534-2696. So that's listening live when we're here live. Appreciate you staying muted so that everybody has a wonderful session and can hear well. Now we get into trance segments.
All right. So we are continuing with Francine talking about the concept that a concept called wreckoncilers, which we're calling wreckers just to make it not confusing. So a wrecker is a person who's just to pick up from last time. A wrecker is a type of individual who she's talking about being someone who goes after anybody who's representing something truthful. We all know who that is. Like, why is this person going after this individual? Like,
And
there's
saying
no other
untruths.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it can be in any domain of life. It doesn't just have to be related to spirituality and Gnosticism. It's like someone who's representing something truthful and just get torn apart. Woo, boy. Okay, so spiritually speaking. So wreckers are just a subset of the darkness that was assigned to Gnostics, to truth bringers. Instead of standing on the bed screaming in life, stand up and sweep the darkness out of the house. And the last note that I have here is that between the ages of 10 and 17 is when the soul decides that it's here. So we're going to hear about childhood a little bit.
Nice. All right.
Okay.
Take notes.
All right.
If you want to classify them, would you say they're non-Gnostic, all non-Gnostic, or just dark and gray entities?
No, they're a different breed. They're not dark. Well, I guess you could say they're dark, but they're another phylum. So, not to make you more worried, but they're another group that you have to watch out for. I guess if you want to put them under a large heading, you'd say that they're dark. But they're not the typical dark entity. They are entities that seem specifically from the beginning of time to just attach to Gnostics. Or anyone, you could call them whatever they are, that came for truth. If you called yourself the Katzenjammer group, if you had the truth, they would attach to you or try to get in your face, as we say.
So they're what you call non-Gnostic then?
Oh, they're non-Gnostic, but so are dark. But the dark they hate everyone that's good. But these are definitely out for the Gnostics.
So they include 5 garbage rates as not Gnostic.
I'm sorry.
Say it again, Jim.
When you're talking about
The dark are a different phylum, okay? A different sect. The gray are a different sect. You have to watch out for them. But the reconcilers are definitely against Gnostics.
And a separate
Group.
of, let's call them angels,
Oh no, entities.
messengers.
Yeah, messengers that are here directly for any group that's for truth.
So they include the dark.
No. You have to separate the dark from the reconciled. So
The dark are just here for a mission, just to destroy the world. The gray are here for a mission to just be wishy-washy, and hopefully you can make them turn white, which is a feat in itself. The reconcilers are directly attached to Gnostics.
to halt them. Let me ask, it comes to mind the story in the Old Testament of Job, and he has those three friends around him that are just telling him he must be terrible, he's bad.
Those
You're full
are the
of sin.
reconcilers.
That's what I was wondering. Those are like the reconcilers.
They're the ones that instill greed. They're very intelligent, by the way. Where I've told you before that the dark entities are very primitive. They'll give you the same tapes over and over again. You know the tape they give you. You're insecure, you're not worth anything, that kind of thing. That's what comes from the dark. And you say, oh, that's their stupid, dumb, continuous record again. They're very stupid. Reconcilers, on the other hand, are very wily. They're very smart, they're very cagey, they're very crafty. They purport to be knowledgeable. They're not just in spirit. See, most of the reconcilers, where you can have dark entities that are in spirit form, most of your reconcilers are down here in human form right now.
And are they white entities or they're different from white?
They're different.
No, see, you keep trying to make them white or dark. What you're talking about, it's like saying Asian and Portuguese and German. They're all human, but they're not the same race. The reconcilers are a different race of beings.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there such a person that is a magnet towards reconcilers, the bad ones? I feel
No, good ones aren't. Good ones pull reconcilers, and isn't that tragic? The better you are, the more you will pull these reconcilers.
so. It's like when I have a friend who constantly needs help, and it drains me
Oh.
so much to go to
But
those.
see, that's what our Lord meant when he said, "Get behind me, Satan." He didn't mean as like not somebody with horns. He meant put these people behind you, these disturbing people, these disturbing thoughts, these disturbing drainers, as Kathleen says.
Because it seems like over and over in my life that
Yeah, and look at how much time you're spending with this one person when you, with your goodness and your counseling ability, could be giving it to people that really need it.
How do you recognize it without being so far into feeling like, God, I spent so much time?
That's where it is.
That's when you recognize it.
That's when you recognize it, because your soul will rise up and say, I am so exhausted. I'm not having any fun. Now, this life isn't meant to have fun, but it's certainly not meant to be miserable with somebody all the time either. And when you begin to weigh these people that you know in your life, that they're costing you more, and I don't mean money, emotionally, sometimes you'd be happy to give them $20 or $30 as they go away. That would be easy. Is that when you start weighing, and you should think in your mind as a very good thing of a scale. And every time, put their thin or fat, whatever, derriere on that scale, and then weigh, as the Egyptians used to, what you have to pay out in time, energy, and what is the reward for that?
Well, that's why I became a real isolator now, because it gets to the point where it's like, okay, no, I'm just going to do this and stay home and do it.
Sure, and that's what happens to many very white entities, very good entities, and that's tragically what makes them pull in. It's the very thing they shouldn't do.
Yeah.
With regards, it's very much like saying if you have a lot of mice in your house, you can do one or two things. You can catch them and sweep them out, or you can stand on the bed and scream all the time. What many white entities choose to do, and it's not because they're stupid, is they stand on the bed and scream. And what happens is the house is overrun by mice. So what you can do is sweep them out, and that takes a lot of energy sometimes. But then your house is clean and clear. Yes?
Sometimes children attract
Oh.
kind of wreckers, and I don't know that they have the skill to defeat them.
That's right.
Visually, what do we do?
Well, I think that's why, as parents, And I think that's why Sylvia is so adamant about getting this education started too, that Gnostics will really begin, and John's working on some of that, is that Gnostics should just administer to Gnostics, to children. In other words, and it sounds so selective and it sounds so uppity, but no, Gnostics are the only ones that should, because out in the world, they're not teaching children about the white light of the Holy Spirit and how to protect themselves, and that they have an angel that's guarding them, and this is how they should talk to their guide. They don't do that.
And so that's how children can go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if we don't have a place yet, which we will in a couple of years, then do it at home. See, Sylvia's getting to the point, and she's a great educator. She taught for 18 and a half years. Is that she's really beginning to say, until that time comes, maybe we should start in-home studies.
Is that what adolescence is all about in the records?
But that, see, from 10 until about 16 or 17 is when the soul finally has decided it's here. That's when we call the abruptness of the consciousness. And that is when, not at the age of 7, it usually happens about 10, when the identity of self begins to take on. People who have had great example, great love, protection, somewhere to go, some love of God, some knowledge of the tools of protection, they don't get into this problem.
So I hope that's a helpful, a lot of helpful description and interesting distinction of what this is. She called it a phylum, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's a the wreckers are a distinct phylum, different than dark entities and us. So
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, a couple people have asked so far. So on this planet, there's dark, gray, white, and wreckers. I think that I am still not entirely clear. I'll just be honest. I've listened to it a couple times. I'm not entirely clear if wreckers are also dark entities at the same time, like if the Venn diagram overlaps, or if they're just,
you may not want to.
I don't know.
On an energy level, are they a positive or negative? I consider them negative. They're not helping. They're mean, evil, and not doing nice things. But they're still, as she was saying, she's trying to distinguish between, because to my understanding, dark entities that are here incorporated, dark-souled people that are incarnated like we incarnated, we come from the same place. They've chosen, on their spirit, their essence have chosen to be mean, evil people. The gray entities have not decided which they're going to be and are easily influenced. We have chosen, the white entities, white soul people have chosen to be nice, and honor Mother and Father God. So, but that's the type of entities we are. Where I'm hearing she's saying that these wreckers are not the same kind of entity. It's like she said, it's a different. If you wanted to make it call it a different race, as it were. So that's another type of entity or type of entity that's occupying a physical body. And again, it's not to scare, it's just to be something cognitive
Just
of.
to be aware. Yeah.
And then ask, okay, how do I protect myself from them? How do I stay protected from them? I was mentioning, I think it was, mentioning last week, where are we seeing this? It has, I can't even remember my comment, but it was related to, what are we finding antithesis of? Conspiracy theories. There's something. and people that are promoting that, when we see evidence of other, a different truth, we're seeing a lot of people um, being noisy and trying to get people's attention because they think they're telling the truth, but we see evidence otherwise. So we're now we're speaking a truth, our truth about Gnosis and what Francine and Raheem have shared with us. And I'm sure there's, matter of fact, Sylvia, when Sylvia puts stuff out, how many people get on and start yelling and screaming, "Oh my God, this is horrible! She's a charlatan, she's a this or that," and so we just want to stay away from it. And it's like, okay, they're going to make their noise, and it's up to each person to find their own truth. So we're seekers after our own truth.
Yeah, a true skeptic is someone who can engage with information and look at it from a variety of different angles. That's a true scientist. A true scientist will say, "Here's my hypothesis now. Here's what I think is going on. Now let me try to disprove it," and then just go back and forth for the sake of trying to understand knowledge without getting so hateful and tearing people down. It's
And saying what I've learned is absolute truth. When we know, even when you said science even admit, scientists even admit that, hey, this is what the way we understand it at this point in time.
exactly knowledge evolves. All right, a couple comments from listeners. Don, I hope that you were able to figure out what was going on. Someone on Facebook reported the screen was frozen. You can always re-listen to us after the show. It'll be recorded and available on both YouTube and Facebook, so that'll be there saved. Esteban, hi Esteban, I haven't seen you in a minute. Says first time hearing about wreckers, disturbing, just like the children of the lie. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're like little homing missiles of destruction, and because like that, like I don't know about y'all, but I know the kind of people that they're talking about. It was like those very, very vicious persecutors, right?
I'm sure that falls into that category, but a child of the lie may not be that, may not have progressed that viciously, and so they have another, agenda, and it's just a matter of, asking for identification. And that did come to mind. I'm glad he brought that up, because that's actually not a phylum. That's not an entity. They're in that physical body. There's no entity. It's being guided by dark entities from the other side, like a marionette puppet. But it's like multiple entities on Noir are manipulating that individual physical body.
Yeah, we're talking about that was a mention of children of the lie. Children of the lie are I met one once. It was a terrible experience. It was a terrible experience for all involved. And so hopefully you never encounter one of these people. Children of the lie happens. We're told when two dark entities have a child together, and there's just such a confluence of
there's no
energy that there's no soul that comes into that.
Right. And it was designed so that that individual can't be easily tracked, because there's no essence in there. It's being guided by external essences. And the other reason why it's challenging, I recall this from Francine saying, the part of the reason why it's hard to pinpoint or get a sense of the person is because there are multiple entities manipulating, and so that's the patterns can change, so it can be a challenge to might be confusing to track them.
Mhm. Okay, a couple other comments. Ramona says, "I realize now that a few wreckers have been in my life. Yikes! Different phylum. Yeah, interesting. I hope that you're able to get far away from these individuals. Yikes! Old school. Nice to see you." Thomas says, "So on this planet, there's dark, white, grays, and wreckers." So it sounds like, yeah. We have to have these people who create tests in order for us to know our own muscle strength. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the purpose of them. And Laura Lobos, hello, says a wrecker sounds like a narcissist. They do sound pretty narcissistic. Very proud of themselves for all the naughty things that they're doing. Yes. I think we've all met people like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting, but not all narcissists, I think, are dark.
Not all narcissists are dark, right? So, yeah, definitely not all narcissists are dark. Oh, Floofy says hello. Okay.
Any more?
Oh, I think we're good for comments there. Having a little
right.
glitches with Facebook, but but thank you everyone for your comments so far.
What do we got next?
Next we have all right. Second we have gangs flourish because people want big protection and think that they're also fighting evil. There's probably very good entities that get caught up with wreckers, such as in gang situations. The name Damien was a name for the devil in before times. How to handle a wrecker child, such as hypnosis or helping them be in a quieter mode. Wreckers want you to embrace being an isolationist. This is a huge point that I do want to talk about. And wreckers really show fangs after a year or two. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
That's why the gangs are flourishing. It's because they feel this is the big daddy and the big mama that will protect them. And in their own way, don't you see, the Crips and the Blood, they think they're fighting evil. So they still have the warrior belief, but who are they fighting? If you talk to the Crips, they think they're fighting the bad guys. If you talk to the Bloods, they think they're fighting the bad guys. I'm sure in those groups there probably are some very, very good entities that have gotten caught up with these wrecks, let's say.
Right.
Yes.
Francine, I have 2 questions. Are there any public bad wreckers that we would know? And the second question is, are there bad wreckers that come in as children?
Oh, yes. As bad seeds. We also have children that come in that we call children of the lie, which are very close to their wreckers. Oh, yeah. You see, they don't just all of a sudden appear in somebody's body when they're 20. There's no such thing as a walk-in. Don't ever believe that. No, they come in as children. There's a friend that, not a friend of Sylvia's, but a friend of Sylvia's daughter-in-law who has a child, and the woman actually named the child, which Sylvia just had a terrible problem with, calling him Damien. Now, Damien is the name of the devil, or one of the names of the devil. And even though we don't believe it's a devil per se, why would you call a child Damien? Well, the mother must have been very psychic because this child is literally going to end up to be, and for the time he was 3, he wanted to kill things. He wanted to stab his mother. I mean, he came in as a complete dark, not only dark, here we go, Jenny, but you can have a dark entity as well as a wreckoncilers, which then you've got almost a demon on your hands, what we would call in our logic or knowledge a demon. Yes. The best they could, probably. Sylvia asked that, and she did have some success with him, even when he was 5, doing some hypnosis on him, But see, then the mother just gave up. Because a week and a half after that, he took a fork after his sister. So instead of, see, that's what happens. Parents just, and so what she did was isolate herself, keep the child within the ranks of the home so that he wouldn't infringe on anyone else. And so she's become almost a nun. She's literally sacrificed her life. Now, it's awfully hard to say, but you don't want to kill the child, you don't want to put the child away. But I think what she has to do is spend an exorbitant amount of time in not confinement so much, but at least confining him, just bathing him in all the positivism. At least he will still be a reconciler, but he won't have, the goodness will render him impotent. Because if there's no one that you can really get a hold of to drive crazy, because reconcilers will be quiet, or go into a quiet mode if they know that they can't. But they're like feeding them raw meat. The minute they know that they can get ahead, like hurt their sister, knife their mother, whatever they might do, they feed on that. They feed on the emotion of that.
Do they have guides that help them with that? Or
No guides. No guides. Not even dark entities want to be their guides. Yes.
Francine, the bad wreckoncilers, they have actually an assignment then, a certain person?
Yes, they can. Yeah, they have a great, talk about psychic, they have a great reciprocation to their other side, as we say. And it's the same other side as the dark side is. But they have direction. I mean, they're like soldiers with constant reciprocation from their general. Oh, they can be assigned one person or two people. And the greater they are, they can be assigned 4 or 5 people.
So then, like Russian saying, they'll form groups and societies where dark energy doesn't do that?
No, they don't. They just do these silly things like putting tapes in and bugging you at night with thoughts, bad dreams. I mean, they're irritating, but they're not the ones that get right in your face. Now, please remember, this is very important. None of them are in spirit form. They're all in body form. When they come in all body form.
What percentage of the population would they be?
The percentage of the, are 20%. They're not as big as the dark, but they're 20%, which is enough to collect around Gnostics.
They're 20%.
It's a lot. Yes.
Whenever you talk about this, it almost sounds like they almost like the individuals who are coming to them, and almost they like almost be an extension of living their life, helping them
Yes.
to promote their life.
Absolutely.
It reminds me of those concepts.
Yeah, exactly. And they're very parasitic, and they really feed off of you to get where they're going and to render you impotent. They can't kill you, but they'll render. Well, like you said, you made a perfect example of this. You said, because of this, I've become an isolationist, which is the very thing that this reconciler wanted you to be. And you're not weak for that. It's just that you see, you don't have the conniving, cunning, insidious, because no good person does, purpose to wreck. See, you want to heal and help. And that's why I think the world has gotten so askew with why do bad things happen to good people. Of course it does. Because why would it happen to bad? Who would learn from bad things? A bad person? They don't care. They know they're just going to keep recycling down here. They're never going to go to any reward. Their reward is here. Yes.
What if you're stuck with them, like a teacher? You have one in your room. What do you do with them?
Well, it's transient. You don't have to have them year after year.
What can you do immediately?
Immediately, as Mary said, I dome them. I mean, I'd mentally dome them with every positive thought, every good work, every good act, every tool of protection, put the sword of Asna, really knight them in your mind, putting the sword not through them, but on each shoulder, tapping them on the head with it, using the silver netting, using mirrors. Oh, I just bathe them in love. They can't stand it. You will really make them, it's almost like the witch in the Wizard of Oz. You make them almost shrink by throwing this holy water, so to speak, on them.
Are these the people that are begin to show their true colors, meaning they laying wait for a while?
Oh, yes, and you can have them in a ministry, which you have had. You can have them in a group, and you're right, they don't show their colors right away. But boy, they don't stand the test of time. After a few years, they really begin to start showing their fangs. And no true white entity, although we've seen them get confused and almost, what should I say, almost insane or isolationist by what a reconciler can do. A white entity still doesn't turn dark. They can turn real crazy on you, though.
I recall what Francine was talking about, the trance, where she was saying, how do you deal with a dark entity? If if you're a white entity, you've got one in your family, and this was the fun conversation I recall, and she was also specifying that about a wrecker, is nurture them as a positive person and nurture them how to be positive when they're young, because that's how do you help a child be self-confident, caring for others, and you raise them that way. You teach them right from wrong, and the more time you spend teaching them, that becomes their primary activity, their primary reaction or acting with others, and I think that's what helps quell or squelch the desire to be mean and avarice towards others.
Thank you. Yeah, that was,
What's that?
that was nice. Sorry, I was muted. It was nice to hear that at least there's hope that there's some things that you can do. It does have an effect to treat uh, to treat the soul with kindness in every instance.
Right.
In
Right.
every instance. So that was interesting that the person had considered hypnosis for their toddler, and yeah.
That's a fun. And if I haven't worked with that young, but meditation is always fun to work with as well, to help kids. That's what I did with my kids when they were young, and before going to bed. The lullaby before bedtime is I use that as a form of meditation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Questions or comments?
Yeah, questions or comments. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Anthony. Hi, Anthony. I'm glad that you're here. Just and hope that you're doing well. Okay. Over on Facebook, Dawn had a question about the Illuminati, and I think kind of having these conversations about people in society who really go after other people in society kind of might have brought that up. So it's been a while since I read the Secret Societies book that Sylvia wrote. My recollection is that recollection is that the more prominent secret society is a group called SCAN, and can't find any information about it anywhere because they're so incredibly secretive. There's only 22 members, and about half of them are half of them are trying to influence the world economy towards good and helping others, and the other half is trying to influence it for greed and not good purposes. So that's what I recall of that, and it sounds like like Francine at the time had made it sound like this was a very, very entrenched organization that was probably going to be around for a while. So,
What do you recall about the Illuminati? Because I my recollection is I don't think of them as wreckers. Um, just from my recollection, because they're I don't recall them being out to disrupt truth. I thought of them more as like a cult organization, more than being out and about to. I mean, if you think of a sense, they're dispelling truth within their organization. Okay, I guess cults are that way, but I don't recall them being out and about to attack. But that's my.
yeah. The only recollection, it's been so long since I read that book, but the recollection that I have is that the Illuminati was about, it had a lot of negative connotations to it. That's the only thing that I recall. I just don't remember a whole lot beyond that.
Well,
So,
that'd be something fun. Yeah, people could go read Sylvia's book, Secret Societies, and get her insight from that.
exciting things. Nothing like a good old conspiracy to like really make you feel excited for the world today. I don't know. There's so many conspiracy theories running around. I'm just like, oh my god. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What
back
other?
to our current. Yeah. Yes. Let's see here. I'm looking for more. Looking for other comments. Jorge says the records sound like a complete nightmare. Yes, they do. They sound like they're very intelligent and clever, and that's something that I kind of always wondered about, because we've been told in the past is that dark entities are not all that smart, and I can definitely see that for a lot of them, but it seems like there are some who are very, very sophisticated and very wily, and so it seem like they're really like honed in cruise missiles of like using their intelligence for just awful destructive purposes to really tear someone down. And now that like some of those personalities seem like they're better fitting this record category. So
All right.
yeah.
Any other comments, or do we go to the next?
Sounds like a few people are talking about needing to dust off that book or go get it. Yeah, I will say that some of the events that we are witnessing in current American politics, Francine did talk about them in her scan trance, and just if anyone has strong political feelings either way, just know that from our perspective, Francine did name drop some very specific things that we're seeing in the news, and it seems like things are just going on chart. So just wish for all people to be safe and for family gatherings to be positive places.
Right.
Instead of contentious.
Right.
So, yeah. All right, so let's go over to our third segment then. Don't feel bad if you brought a wrecker into a group on accident. You didn't know. Not all jerks are wreckers. Some jerks are on their first life and they get thrown easily, spiritually speaking. Wreckers can be exes, parents, or children. Oh my.
All right.
Hear
we
about
go.
some dynamics.
Take some notes.
So Francine, do they, using of course the protection that we have for them and on them, and do they leave our life eventually?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Or they'll attach to someone that's very close to you that they know that you might be involved with that has the truth.
Okay.
And don't feel guilty if you feel that for some reason you've brought a reconciler into a group because you didn't know. And maybe that was the karma for the group to learn. Yes.
The director of our nonprofit organization in my area, is he dark or a reconciler?
I don't think he's dark. I think he's just very much of you have a vernacular or a word that says he's a jerk. See, not everybody that is a person of ill-gotten gain or stupid or ignorant or power hungry is necessarily a reconciler. That's just their disposition. They're just abominations in their own right, let's say. But no, I wouldn't keep stamping these people. Some people are on a lot of their first lives where they're a little bit thrown off by greed or childlike behavior or gimme, like a baby would be. I'd be more apt to believe that he's a really early lifer that doesn't know which way to go, as we all have been. We all have been there. But gradually, as we get through our lifetimes, because most all of you have many, many lifetimes, is that eventually we should get smart. And the smartness means that we're going to get rid of these people and then go out in the world as ministers of truth, whether it's here or wherever it is. But I challenge you even more than Sylvia has, and I challenge you to find any greater truth than what we have. You will not find it. Because every road and every book that you pick up leads back to Gnostics, to the Gnostics, leads back to Gnosis. Even our Lord said it, seek and you shall find. There is no other religion or, let's say, spiritual knowledge that comes that's any greater than what you have. Yes?
When the natterings start in your head, can you short circuit it by putting...
You know what I've always done when I was in life? I actually thought of it as unplugging. You know, like you unplug something. I think there's a symbolism, and this was way before we ever had any kind of electricity because I was born in 1500 to 1519. But after I went to the other side that I've been forever, all my life, for eternity. And then it came in that there was electrical currents in the world long before Edison ever found it out. He just tapped into it. Think about it being unplugged. Use these things, or use a symbol of a fan to blow their energy away. Anything that you can use as a symbol, because they're very symbolic in what they attach to you. So using symbols back. Or, as Mary says, put a dome over them. Just think about putting a cake dish over them, mentally in your mind. Yes.
Francine, Sylvia is getting more and more requests, and there's less and less time for Sylvia to do all this. And at the same time, January, things are going to start a new transition. What, in addition to the things that are scheduled, the cell memory classes and these things, what in addition can we do to help launch whatever's getting launched?
Well, I think that's what it will be. I think with these many calls coming in and more calls coming in, I think that's where the ministerial body can get on the phone and really tell them not only about the classes it will be, but also the making other people ministers and having the funds to send them out, also teaching children, also helping adolescents, also having meditation groups, prayer groups, healing groups, cell memory seminars, on and on. There's 1,000 things. Hypnotherapy, past life regressions, getting in touch, and even just going through the journeys, indexing all the materials so that the people coming after you will be able to look up anything that they want about tools of protection. There will be a file cabinet that will be, so that they won't have to wade through. So it's very much like a library of Congress, so to speak, that really will allow people to do this. Yes?
I was wondering if the wreckoncilers ever follow certain entities into their incarnation purposes.
No, they don't follow you through different incarnations. We've never seen that happen. I'm sure if they attach to you really strong, possibly that could be true, but I've never seen it. they seem to have no affinity for you, except they're sent on this mission. Let's pick out, Christine, and let's go after her good. And usually it's 1-to-1. Now, if you're a hard subject, they might send many. But eventually, as I was telling Ellen, you can certainly blanket, or Teresa, you can blanket those people to pieces. Yes.
They could be ex-boyfriends, ex.
Oh, more times than not.
Okay.
They can even be your own children, your own mother, your own father. See, that's what's so hard for people to learn. And I think that's why the convents and the abbeys started, unfortunately, it was for the wrong reasons, was to encase these people, almost like isolationists, away from these reconcilers. But then they did the wrong thing. They should have kept them in a closed fraternity, so to speak, and gain strength like you are today to this meeting, and then go out, then be able to come back under one roof, regardless of where that is, and gain strength and then go out. It's sort of like come back, take a shower, get your ammunition belt on, and go back out again. That's what it's supposed to be about.
Others are also there to help you with your profession.
Absolutely, absolutely. Without them, see, in many ways, and this seems so almost an oxymoron statement, to bless these reconcilers, because without them, I'm not sure you would ever gain muscle, soul muscle. And the more you're believed or bedeviled, I should say, by these reconcilers, by these dark entities, by the grays, who really don't bother you that much. They're just so aggravating. They just don't know which way to go. But the more your soul gains muscle, eventually, though, you do get to a point in this lifetime of what we call venerability and reverence, in which reconcilers won't bother with you, because you've made such a firm plant in your resolution to be for the Christ consciousness and the good. It would do no good. Your power is too strong for them, so they don't try to get you anymore. But boy, do you have to go through the gauntlet of those people to get through. And don't ever be smug enough to think you've gotten to the point of venerability, not vulnerability, but venerability, that you won't be struck, because sometimes you can be blindsided at any avenue or any area that you're in. Okay, my dears, I will see some of you tomorrow night, and the rest that I will see another time. If not, then I will see you on the other side.
Yes, we will see her eventually on the other side. That was the end of a trance session. That's what that was.
Yeah.
But there's more to come.
There's more to come. There's a lot more. There's a lot more to come. I had made a statement, I think, last week saying, like, don't worry, we've got like years more of trances to look forward to, and I wanted to audit myself to make sure that that's actually true. No, it's actually true. We have so many more trances to get to. Once we're past trances that have a date, we also have a bunch of
orphaned
trances that are orphaned. We have a lot of different things that we have to look forward to, and sometimes they are. Sometimes they're classes that Francine gave. So there's a lot of really, really cool stuff. And I'm so excited to share it with everybody. It's a lot to look forward to. We're going to say something?
I didn't have any 2 bits for that, other than I saw a lot of fun comments, and we need to answer anything, or do we want to go to the next, or?
Yeah. Somebody asked a question. Does it help to put spiritual mirrors around ourselves, as Sylvia says, to help protect us from dark entities? I definitely notice a difference. I mean, you can test it yourself if you're having any thoughts about, it's like, ooh, is there some dark juju around here that is not feeling great, or is there a person who is being nasty? And sometimes, like a lot of times, we don't know if that's just their life theme. They're a white entity, but that's their life theme to be a persecutor, or if they are actually a dark entity. or they're irritating. Yeah, or they're an irritant. They've got life theme that reflects that. So it doesn't help us to necessarily always like label a person like, oh, this person's dark. It's like we don't always know. We just know that their behavior says that they're being disruptive, they're being destructive, they're being a jerk. I don't want them around. And so whenever I'm in a situation like that, yeah, mirrors pointing
Protect
outward,
yourself.
I do notice myself.
As Raheem likes to repeat to us, is don't go outside in the winter cold naked, spiritually naked. Put something on. That's a fun analogy of. I mean, even I've done it. Feel like the end of the day, I'm like, oh my God, what? Why do I feel miserable? Why do I feel worn out? It's because I walked out of the house without any spiritual clothing on, as it were. And so, you get bombarded, worn out, and it doesn't even have to be from annoying, irritating people. It's just energy around you can get sucked dry from from those that vampire your energy, as it were.
Yeah.
So yes, to answer your question, look in the back of the Journey and Soul Topic 3. What are the mirrors helpful for? It has an index in there, so you can go read where to read more about it. But visualize that, mirrors around you, because I'm thinking of that as like two parts of protection. One, whoever's around you is reflecting themselves back to them. So if it's something negative, well, guess what? They're not going to hang around because that's what they see is their own negativity. If somebody's being positive and like-minded, that's going to reflect back to them. So yeah, they'll usually stick around. It also prevents the other. I think of it as it prevents the other person from seeing you. What your aura doing. And that's especially helpful for, or protective from like dark entities. They're going to toss thoughts in your mind, and what sets, when you get upset, what triggered that? It's something, nobody's done anything to you, but you let your mind go off into the tizzy of, oh my God, I can't do it and I shouldn't. They were so horrible. All that nattering stuff. What triggered that? Well, that could be from a dark entity that said, oh, let's try this out for them and see how they react. Guess what? They're watching your aura change colors. And, oh, look, that one worked really good. And now they're really depressed. Let's try that again later when they'll remember that. Mirrors around you, they don't get to see your the aura, in your closest portion of the aura.
Yeah. Good. It's a very, very powerful tool of protection.
But there's more. There are. So
but there's a lot
more.
Yeah.
Read in the Journey of the Soul book, topic 3 about tools for protection.
Yes, indeed. One thing I want to say about what we just listened to, just to make a point, because I think that I want to just bring out a highlighter, is that when people get attacked, when any white entity gets attacked, what do we tend to do? We tend to isolate, and that's where we really start getting into trouble. When what she's saying here, and I think is the truth, is that is actually the time where you do need to go out and seek people who are positive people, fellow positive people. Spend time with friends, spend time with loved ones who are respectful, who are not the ones attacking you. Because there's something about that that's incredibly healing. And she has talked about, she and Raheem have talked about in the past, about how just being in the presence of other like-minded people has a healing effect on the aura and can help people recover faster from a state of feeling shattered. Mm-hmm. And we just know that is true, that when we're at our worst and a friend kind of is really knocking down the door to be like, let me in, and we do let them in, what inevitably ends up happening, 99 times out of 100, we do usually end up feeling a lot better just by opening the door to let in a loved one. But how much faster can we get over something if we can push back against that instinct to give the darkness what it kind of is trying to get from us, which is to isolate us.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to push back against that impulse to curl up and hide, how much faster would we get better? How much faster would we get back on our feet? How much faster would we have our lives put back together? Because I'll say one last thing. In the trance, what she said, she was addressing someone who said that person succeeded because they got you to identify as being an isolationist. And how many people do you know who be like, oh, I don't like people, or oh, like I'm an isolationist, or like, oh, like that's just me because I've just been hurt too many times. Like if they got you to label yourself as that, is that actually the label that you want for yourself? Or is it just that you don't want to have jerks around? Because those are two very different things. I just don't want to have jerks around, but I love people. So if you know somebody who's in a situation like that, or you notice like it resonating with yourself, just ask yourself, like give yourself permission, I would say, to reevaluate that and say like, what is going to be of service? Is it just that I just want to get jerks out of my life and build up and cultivate my loved ones, or do I really just not like people? Most of the time it's the first one. So just don't want jerks.
Well, thoughts are things. Go back to motive. What's your motive for wanting to isolate? And is it fear or love? Usually in a loving fashion, you're not wanting to isolate. Getting out, it's about getting out and sharing with others.
Yeah, just food for thought. Just food for thought. I know that it's something that I've definitely had to work through with rejection theme issues in the past. So now I am ferociously like, no, I will push through. I know my safe people. I know my loved ones, and I am going to push through this impulse to curl up. I'm not going to let it last longer than a day. Not going to let myself do that. So solidarity if anyone goes through something similar ever.
Any other comments?
Yeah.
Before we do.
Yeah. Miss LJ says, I feel like a dark entity in solitude becomes much more close with the destructive side of themselves. Yeah, I don't know. They're mysterious individuals. Ramona says, great advice, Kat. You're very welcome. If anything is helpful, I'm happy. I'm happy if anything helps. A lot of folks have also been talking about prayers at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Praying for world peace. I think that's really beautiful. I think Sylvia had initiated a call to people to join with a world peace prayer on that time. So really, really nice synergism there. If anyone also wants to join, I think I'll probably edit my 9 p.m. prayer to include world peace, just as a reminder for myself. So, and yeah, all right. Thank you, everyone, so much for your comments. Really, really loved your thoughts and questions today.
Fun. Now's the time for meditation. So for those of you that want to participate, find yourself a comfortable place to sit with your feet flat on the floor, on your palms. We encourage palms upward on your lap to receive that wonderful healing energy. In whatever form works is comfortable for you. And of course, if you need to pay attention to what you're doing, don't pay attention to us, but by all means come back and listen to the wonderful meditations in the on-demand. And for the rest of us, I used to have a longer spiel, and I've forgotten what it was, but I haven't gone back to listen to the archives. So anyway, meditation, metatarsals, so there was another fun word with that. Anyway, here we go. Find a nice place to sit upright, with your feet flat on the floor and your hands up on your lap. Now, take 3 deep breaths to start relaxing the mind and body. And now close your eyes when you are ready.
This is called Jesus and Your Spirit Guide. You are walking along a sandy cliff. As the mist starts coming up from the water below, you suddenly feel Jesus beside you. The two of you begin to see a pathway down the cliff to a beautiful beach. When you reach the beach, you sit off to one side on the sand, each leaning comfortably against a palm tree. Jesus places his hand on yours, then looks to the side and walks over into the shadows. He brings out a beautiful beam of light. This beam, you realize, is an entity, a spirit. As these two walk towards you, you recognize this spirit. It could be a loved one from the past, someone who has gone over before you, or your spirit guide. Feel the love coming. Jesus puts your guide's hand in yours. Clasping hands, you feel a surge of energy that is the love of God. A part of you is witnessing this scene from above, this amazing spiritual communion here in the sand. But up here, you can feel the love of God the Father and the Mother Goddess, who is called Asna. Feel the warmth of this wonderful, loving family. And then down here on the sand, take a few minutes to quietly talk to your guide. At this moment, ask about anyone you know for whom you wish healing, or about whom you have a question. Silently converse with your guide for a few moments. Come back to this place anytime you wish, and feel the wind blowing on your face and the sun beating down. This can be your private chapel away from home.
And now, on the count of 3, bring yourself all the way up, back to full consciousness. 1, 2, 3. Fully and totally awake. Wow, what a great intro meditation to introduce to your guide.
Marvelous. Thank you, spirit guides.
We'll make this go on and on and on if we ask about how people comment on their meditation. Let's see, we did that. So, of course, if you have any questions about what we shared, feel free to post in chat or email us questions to kat@novus.org or tom@novus.org. That's KAT or TOM. And of course, we appreciate listeners, both live and on demand. Show your appreciation for New Spirit Radio by promoting, liking, and subscribing. Look for our websites, novus.org, sylviabrowne.com, and chrisrightnow.com. We're on Facebook. For half of you watching right now, you'll know where we are. Of course, there's Society of Novus Spiritus, Sylvia Browne Group, and New Spirit Radio Show. Let's see, on YouTube, yes, there is Society of Novus Spiritus and Chris Dufresne's website, Psychic Awareness. We are not on Instagram or X, X Twitter, X at this time. Hey, we'll see what happens in the near future, but we're here at this time. However, Chris is on Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to catch some fun insights from him, some fun interaction with him. Study groups. You can start a study group. You'll learn more about our philosophy, and you'll get a monthly Sunday service CD and a newsletter. Plus, you'll get a liaison that can answer questions about our philosophy. Let's see, church services. You can watch Sunday service. Yes, I'm due to make one next week. I think it is next weekend, or this coming weekend. So you can watch on YouTube or Facebook. More classics by Larry and Sylvia. If you want to participate in a live Sunday service, Ellen Schloss, Reverend Ellen Schloss, is hosting live Sunday services in Las Vegas, and you can also watch on the Facebook group. They're doing they're posting it live on the Facebook group, but you can also participate in a special Sunday Zoom service. So put your email on the website and you can get invited to those activities. Now's the time for the novena. I told you I'd do a in-depth description. So right along, the novena, we're going to say a phrase together. For those that haven't heard this, we're going to say a phrase together 3 times, and I'll after each time we say the phrase three times, I'll tell you what to ask for, and we'll do it all together. Now, what's the premise behind this? This is something a special ceremony I recall Francine providing for us, and it follows along. For me, I think of it as our tenet number 10. Let no one convince you that you are less than a god. Do not let fear imprison your spiritual growth. Now, the phrase that we're going to say together is, I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. And no, we don't have to be so regimented like a marching band drum troop, but we're just going to say this together and visualize that we're all in the same room together, holding hands, making this huge circle so that our energy combines and creates the synergism for those in need and for ourselves. So here, let's see. Yep, I can see what I'm doing here. Here we go. We're going to say this together and I'll lead us off. So, I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for yourself. Okay. And the next one. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, think of things for others. Okay, and the last one. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, picture our light going out like a beacon for others seeking this spiritual knowledge, so we can introduce them to this.
Marvel.
And yes, now I encourage you to think of something to be appreciative of, something that you happened to you recently, and carry that thought with you throughout the week, because that's going to help your mindset through the rest of the week to be in an appreciative mode. In you should see a difference in activity and your feelings and emotions. Think of a memory, think of something, a positive experience that you had, and remind yourself of that throughout the week, so that embellishes it. It affects you physically as well. And of course, show your appreciation to Francine and Raheem for researching all of this wonderful knowledge. Sylvia for coming to this insane asylum of the universe to start this movement, and for showing us how to get some peace of mind and grace while we're here. Asner for helping and protecting us, and Father God for providing the most prestigious school for us to experience, learn, and satisfy your unique spark of curiosity. And of course, thank you, Bob, for some of the graphics and the helping on the audio. And of course, Sammy and Javon for our wonderful intro-outro music. For the show, writing, setup, and hosting is Reverend Catherine Taylor. Editing, technical direction, and hosting is Reverend Tom Bigley. Now we got a prayer from Sylvia. Where did it go? And let's try that one. That one. Yep, okay. Sounds good to me. Here we go.
Prayer to be a shining example. My beloved Mother and Father God, please imbue me with loyalty. To be loyal and true to my own beliefs, true to myself. Gratitude. To be grateful that I'm here and able to learn, knowing that only the strongest are allowed to come here. Let me be thankful for my perfection. Honor. Imbue me with honor, right actions, protocol, and right speech. I will treat others with honor for the spark of God they carry. I will honor my temple as well by taking care of myself. Truth, to know my beliefs and to live them. To thine own self be true. Love, to attain love of self and love of coming into life. Love to do battle for God and to know that spirituality is simply doing a kindness every day. To love the unique spark of God within.
pride. To know pride in oneself is good. To take pride in myself and protect my spark of God. For this I pray, so that I may be a shining example of your love and light in this world. I ask this all in the name of God. Amen.
And Kat's gonna tell us.
From the comments, do something you love to do every day this week. And actually every day over the next 2 weeks, because we're going to be off. See you in 2 weeks, everyone. We love you. Good night.
As if you were not there, all praise went to the Father. We were so unaware that through the years you've shed your tears for all the pain we bear. Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You've planted every creator of the stars. And when I'm feeling down and out, you mend my broken heart. So now I sing this song of thanks because of who you are. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You're more than a friend to me. You give me everything I need. In your peace you hold me tight. You are the bringer of the light. With no fear we boldly stand, because you